Me and Henda will do some little yapping, not too much, and then properly introduce you. You know that. You know what you're doing. You're the fucking best, okay? Say it. Say it. Back to me, I meant. All right.
You're the best. You're the
Thank you.
cuddliest.
Stop it. I'm all right.
Ew, you're both gross.
All right. Let men love each other. This is why there's mass shootings.
Oh, no. I did mass shootings.
No.
We get
You
tons
did
of
it.
praise or we do troubles.
Yeah. Either heap on the praise or it's going to be awkward in a mall.
I washed the dish. Say something. All right, shall we?
Okay.
Welcome to Keith and the Girl. I'm Keith Malley.
Hi. Do you like to press buttons? Hit like, comment, and subscribe.
Oh, boy.
You like helping for free? Totally free. No money down, no money owed. Hit like, comment, and subscribe.
Oh, fuck.
Hi. What did you have for breakfast this morning? Comment down below. Hi.
Oh, boy.
Do you like to say thank you? I like to say thank you. Hit the thank you button down below.
Henda, you're in a promo loop, all right?
And I'm Chemda.
All right. Well, good to be here. Good to see everybody. By the way, our YouTube, of course, is cranking things out now. YouTube is telling us that our audience in India is growing a bunch. And so we have some more and more Indian listeners, I see. So welcome to the party. Thank you for being here.
Hello.
And let's begin today's guest. You love him. He's been, this will be his 20th Keith and the Girl appearance.
Wow.
He was sweet enough to open up for one of my shows, my album Good Clean Fun. It's almost going to be a decade since then. That's how fast that time goes. That was my greatest hits album. That was 10 years ago.
Oh my God.
Right. Of course.
Wow.
Are you going to cut us in half and count the rings too now? What are you doing?
Right.
Oh my God. This is embarrassing in like the nicest way that we all don't know how to manage.
Oh my God.
His specials, HBO, Son of Gary, Comedy Central, Not Special, Netflix, the stand-ups he's in, you know him from Billions, of course, you know, which I have to imagine he's doing stand-up, people just yell Billions like he's supposed to do, he's supposed to do lines.
So many times, so many times.
Dan Soder, how you doing, Dan?
Yeah, dude, I've had this keychain.
I'll keep him the Girl old school keychain.
What?
Still on my keys.
Excellent.
Right there with Biggie. Look at that.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Wow.
It's crazy. I had a creek in the cave that snapped off, but that's great. 20th appearances. I have quit drinking.
Yes.
By the time, like on this show, in the span I've been on the show. And
Yeah,
that feels long.
We were just talking about you on who the hell knows what day it is, but we were saying that we knew you while you were drinking. You had even like beer sponsorship tours and things like that, heavily in the community of alcohol. So when you came into our studio and said, I'm not drinking anymore, I was like, wow, it's such a huge decision when you have a momentum and you're sort of taking this risk that this will still keep me on track, but like a better track for myself. And you proved that it's true. Amazing.
Man. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that I think were very vocal about like, hey, you should stop drinking before this career goes away. Because when I first started coming on your show was right when I stopped waiting tables and I got to do that gig with Guinness, which wasn't stand-up. It was just me shilling that mud water and then, going from city to city doing the best phrase to sum up that entire tour was, are you guys ready for more beer? Are you guys ready for more beer? Guinness has 115 calories. Dude, I knew all that shit. I knew all the propaganda. I was just a little...
And at the time, you don't think, well, why is Guinness picking me? It's almost like these reality shows where they pick insane people. Like, they want me to talk to the world. No, because you're insane.
Why does Jerry Springer want me and my girlfriend to come on their show? I don't understand why they would want that.
Guys, I think we're about to get flowers and chocolate. Yes, of course I want to be on your show.
I didn't have a drinking problem. I just had a show called My Name is Keith, and I get drunk with the guests. But that's the gimmick. That's all.
It's just, you know what's so funny was explaining my drinking to my therapist, who just the whole time was like, well, you're an alcoholic. And I was like, no, you don't understand. It's like this, it's who I am as a guy, man. And he was like, yeah, that's a disease. You're an alcoholic. And I just remember being like, there was no budge on him.
You want to hear from the flip side of it is I went to Al-Anon meetings, and at the time we had a kegerator in our home that was also our home studio, right?
Christ.
So I'm sitting there going like, but it's just affordable. That's just like,
Yeah.
pure math. Like if we're gonna host and he's gonna drink, you might as well do it.
Yeah, dude, the covering up of your
I
own
was
drinking.
sincere.
Yeah, I know. And I was totally sincere of like, you guys, it's not a big deal. But then you just multiple people in comedy that I like respected and had really good careers were just coming to me and being like, I just was on Giannis Papas's podcast, and he was one of the very first people. He said it through a rear view mirror, which is how you never want to hear you have a drinking problem. But he had his eyes.
There's like a poetic thing about that though.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah, there is. We were driving back from Montreal. We were driving back for Just for Laughs in 2011. And he was like, just got to quit drinking, man. And it was like, all I could see was, and I was just so hungover in the back seat that I did not want to hear that. I was like, shut up, Giannis, you fucking dork.
Right.
He was ripping it.
Was he a big drinker?
No, he's one of those guys. He's, like he can drink and then walk away and not want one immediately. One time we were at a bar and he went, I don't have a drinking problem and you do. He's like, I can drink half of this beer and walk away. And I said, in the second you'd hit the door, I'd drink that other half. I would drink your back half of beer.
I love the hindsight 2020. Like, okay, that could have been a sign. That's fine. And you collect signs until you can't hold them up, and you're like, okay, I gotta admit that this is getting heavy.
But I think that's every single thing in life. It's like the answers are all there. You just got to be able to listen to all the evidence that's piling up. It's like when someone's in a really shitty relationship and they just keep being like, well, he's gonna be okay, and all of their friends are like DAs that just keep coming with different cases. They're like, he left you at a restaurant on your birthday, and you're like, well, I said the wrong thing. It's like, just listen to the evidence of. And when you listen to the evidence, you're kind of like, all right, well, maybe I should try to change this.
That's weird because, you kind of want to keep these people anonymous, but I recognize the voice you're doing, and it's your friend Brad. And
yeah,
so sorry, that was Brad. A bad relationship.
Blew it up. Me and you were just oil and water, but the sex was dynamite.
Well, we have a VIP show where our buddy Newsy Chew does a Q&A, like Q&A, and he goes back on whatever day we happen to be on throughout the years of Keith and the Girls shows.
That's awesome.
Reviews those. That's awesome. He happened to come across one where I'm like, okay, what would you rather I do? 2-3 drinks every day, or just get fucked up Friday and Saturday? Like, now we're doing math as if I wasn't doing both.
Yeah, that's the best part of that's like the last leg of drinking is where you start doing alcohol math, where you're like, okay, well, I'll just drink beer. And then if I just drink beer, I'm only going to have like 4 of those. But then inevitably you're like, after 3 beers, you're like, you want to do a shot? We should do a shot.
These beers don't do anything. And then there was also the phase that Keith had where he's like, you know what? From now on, Monday, Keith and the Girls shows start with a quick AA meeting. I'll lead, and I'll just.
Yeah, man. You can't. No one's better at bullshitting themselves than us. You're like, you can just bullshit yourself in a way where you're like, I do the same thing now with like candy. It's weird how my brain is transformed, and now I'm like, okay, so I didn't have soda at dinner, so I can have a whole bag of sweet ropes, of sour ropes. Oh, that's fine. I can totally eat that.
What if I eat a cookie for every 5 miles that I bike ride? Is that good math? Does that math check out? Do I call a doctor to see if that math checks out?
It just shifts, but man, do I enjoy waking up more now without drinking than I did when I was drinking.
Well, that is, of course. Well, that's what I say. I discovered that morning hours are worth the same amount as evening hours. Did you know that? You can spend them the same.
So many more things are open before 1 a.m. It's fucking insane.
And you just hold on to whatever. Like, nobody's really Henda's telling me, but I'm not really listening. Well, you see everything, so you think you're saying it wrong. But my friends were my drinking buddies, so they're not saying anything. That means they have a problem.
Yeah.
I was scared to say it to you because I got to say you are a lot of fun. You're really nice. When you're drinking, I was nervous. You write, you have an assignment, you do it happily, and then you call to say what a good time you had. There's this warmness that comes from me. I was scared, but it always gets better. With some awkwardness.
As a former drinker, I can honestly say I was never athletically gifted, But the only time I've ever felt like a Hall of Fame athlete or like an All-American is when people used to tell me how good at drinking I was. And like, man, I used to watch you drink when I was a kid. And I was like, I know it's a different day now. I just feel like a retired, football player.
Right. We don't want to
well,
use the word impressive, but
yeah,
you recognized.
You were so much fun to watch you fly around out there, promising people that you would do shows. I used to get drunk and just tell everyone, I was coming up. I was like an open micer, and I'd just like say yes to every show when I was hammered. And then I'd be like, how do I have 4 bar shows tonight?
But then you're like, oh, I have 4 bar shows tonight. This other dude's not hanging out and he doesn't have 4 bar shows.
Yes.
It looks like I'm moving forward constantly.
Yeah. When in reality, it's just alcoholism meeting opportunity. That's what success is.
And it took, for me to quit drinking, the main things were people that were quitting that, didn't necessarily know they were talking to me. You specifically, Dan Soder. I'm like, this guy, I saw him when he wasn't drunk. He seemed fine enough to me, obviously hiding things when he was drunk, but now he's doing great and he's not losing a sense of humor. And why I'm even pretending I ever thought that was a thing. Are you going to lose your edge?
Well, I asked that. I asked that to my therapist. I was like, am I going to be funny anymore? And he was like, you're going to be way funnier. And I didn't think he was right. I really, really doubted him. I was like, no. Because
you like that your therapist was like, you could be funnier.
Man, he watched when I first started going to him, I brought him my Comedy Central half hour. And he watched it. And I came in the next week and I was like, what'd you think? He just right off the bat, he's like, why do you apologize for everything?
Oh, no.
Like, what? I was like, you can see that through my comedy? How did you see that? It was like a thing that he saw that cut right to the core of me where I was like, you're a good therapist. Because I know I've been hiding that from people. So it was this, I don't know. Yeah, it's like, as a comedian worrying about quitting drinking, you do worry if you're not going to be as funny, but then you realize, oh yeah, I was a funny kid. I guess it's still,
and if it comes naturally, now there's not anything holding you back naturally.
Yeah, but it is terrifying. It is terrifying to be like, ooh, am I going to suck now that I took this thing away? Right. But I came into your guys' show right when I quit drinking and I think had one of the most honest interviews I've ever done about it, like right after I quit drinking. I was just talking about not boozing again.
It was really interesting. And I think you had at least one show before, because unless we were quickly reminiscing about the job you just quit, but talking to you about your restaurant work was a trip.
They shut down that restaurant. Dos Caminos 3rd Avenue is gone. R.I.P. Dos.
Do you miss it?
No, not at all. I used to love driving by and throwing it middle finger than devil horns. I would do the mixture. I'd be like, fuck you. Yeah, just to the restaurant. I'd be like, fuck you, because you're a shitty restaurant and you were mean. All those people were mean to me, but all those people I worked with fucking ruled, and I had a lot of fun there. So it was like
that's cool.
Middle finger and devil horns. Because partying as a waiter is so fun.
Yeah.
In hindsight.
That's where all the coke is, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's just where the booze are. That's where you see some truly mentally ill people is working in the restaurant industry in New York City.
Oh, you were in the after hours a lot because, waiters close down restaurants and then you go to things that are sort of half closed down, half just for you. Yeah. And the after 2 a.m. crowd into potentially after 4 that's illegal. I mean, all that stuff is what people want to hear about New York, I think.
It's the best. CB6, which is now called Stag's Head on 51st and 2nd. When it was under former ownership, the one of the ladies who closed the bar, she was the closing bartender every night, knew I worked Tuesdays and Thursday nights. That's when I worked dinner, and I would go over there after our shift. We'd all meet up over there after our shift, and it would be like 11. So like 11 to 1, we were like politely drinking. And then around 2 o'clock, if it was just Dos waiters, if it was just Dos staff, I think her name was Lori. She would go up and lock the door and we could smoke inside and plug, like whoever had an iPod could plug it into the stereo. It was fucking awesome.
But how funny, like if it was us now, either sobriety or age, you'd walk in there and be like, go home.
Go home.
But yeah, that was the coolest thing.
God, it was so fun. One time a table stiffed me and they were at the bar when I got there and I was like, just staring across the bar at this table. And finally I had a couple drinks in me and I walked over and I was like, y'all tip me like shit. And one guy was like, what? And I was like, yeah, this guy tipped me like shit. You left me like, it was something like 7%. I was like, you left me 7% on a 7 top, dude. That's
And you think you
up.
can hang out in this secret club?
And then, but then I had the whole staff was like on the other side of the bar. So I felt
Right.
like,
But
I
like,
remember
what
pumping
would
myself
be,
up to be like,
oh,
fucking say something, dude. Go say something.
and that could be satisfying, right? Like, just I got to say something after the fact. I can't get in trouble. This is
I
not their
thought I
business.
was going to get in trouble. I woke up the next day very hungover and very scared that guy was just going to call Dos Caminos and be like, your waiter fucking saw me at a bar and confronted me. But I was always funny enough off the clock that managers liked me. Managers hate working there. They hate working there just as much as the staff does. So if you're like funny with the managers, they're like, one time there was a secret shopper, you know, like an undercover corporate came and waited there, and I got a 32% or like a 40% on my review. They were like, he was in the weeds, he was sweating, he was like I was like kind of like shitty with her, just like, what do you want, like I was like kind of like I was in the weeds energy, you know. And dude, my shout out to Daniel Love, my old manager. He like sat me down and he was like, what are we gonna do? You got a 40%. And I was like, man, I'm sorry, I'll try. I just remember telling him I'll try. Right. And he's like, you're gonna try? And I'm like, I'm gonna try. And then later that shift, at our pre-shift meeting, they were taking numbers for the softball team, and I wanted number 40. And then he was like, that's not funny. And I was like, I want 40 because I got a 40 on my secret shopper. And they're like, no. But I felt like because I was making the managers laugh and I made everyone laugh, that like I could be a shittier waiter. Like it wasn't as important for me to be a good waiter. Whereas the really good waiters sometimes were dorks, and like the managers were like, these fucking guys.
I see that. Yeah, me too. I think so. Do you enjoy, I was just talking to somebody, she's a recovering alcoholic, which is I get it, but it is a strange term because she's doing great. But anyway, we were talking about how we love to see people with hangovers. Do you?
Oh, yes.
I'm seeing Brother Love tomorrow. I might be a feeder. I don't know, but I love seeing like, what are you doing, you mess?
I'm very empathetic. So I think initially when I see someone hungover, I'm like, oh, but then there's a part of me that's just curious. And I'm like, I forgot what it feels like. Yeah. I know it feels like complete shit and the world is ending, but like, how you doing? Like, I remember I've been the most hungover in Astoria. And I think I might've done your show before I quit drinking once hungover. And it was always this thing of you didn't think it was weighing you down until you didn't have to do it anymore. And then you're like, oh shit. Yeah. Oh my God. Like waking up for the first 2 weeks. I've said this before, but like the first 2 weeks I woke up after I stopped drinking, I would wait for the hangover. I would like wait and I'd be like,
oh, wow.
Hangover, are you here? And then it wouldn't show up. And you're like, I got a whole Tuesday.
Wow.
Now.
I remember we didn't know that you quit drinking. You walked into the studio and I was like, Dan looks different. He only has one bottom eyelid.
Yeah. I used to be in rough shape. And I mean, but
I couldn't tell. I couldn't tell until the after. Does that make sense? Like before, like Keith was saying, you were passing, he was passing. It's like, oh, you guys are young, I guess, you know, it's not like it could show. And then, but once it cleared up, Yeah,
that was what's crazy is I quit drinking in March of 2013, and then I quit smoking in June of 2013. And I saw people in like November, and they were like, "Dude, you straight up look 10 years younger." I was like, "That's crazy!" And I didn't know there was going to be those benefits. I missed smoking so much, but I didn't. When you take off both of those things, you're like, "Damn, it's wearing you down." What I didn't realize was Joe List really helped me when I first stopped drinking because he had just done it. He was like maybe 3 to 6 months ahead of me. And he told me, he was like, don't worry about the first 90 days. Eat whatever you want, drink whatever you want, as long as it's not alcohol. So I was having soda and I was having like Domino's. I had Domino's like multiple times a week, which I know is gross in New York, but I fucking love it.
No, there's something special. First of all, just to be clear, I always make this clear. I don't think Domino's is pizza. It's labeled a different thing in my head.
Yes.
But sometimes you just want to have like a shit night. You order Domino's, and if you're not lazy enough, you put it in the oven or on the cast iron, you burn it up a little bit.
I do think you're supposed to drink instead of that. But anyway,
I would prefer you falling off the wagon to that. But I ate like a fucking grown child, and I didn't realize how much I was drinking at night. I would probably have, when I was drinking, I was averaging like 7 rounds of a shot and a drink a night. That was usually what I did. And I didn't realize calorically what that was doing to me. So when I stopped drinking, I was losing weight, but I was eating shit and I was still losing weight, and it was blowing my fucking mind. The first month, I was like, what's happening? I'm eating candy and sugar at night, but I'm waking up weighing less.
Yeah, I discovered the
metabolism.
whole Ben and Jerry's library.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. I could
They
just
mix
walk,
everything.
and
Yeah.
I didn't give a shit about desserts when I was drinking.
Right.
Didn't care. The second I quit drinking, I was like, man, can I make a milkshake out of just a pint of Ben and Jerry's ice cream and then have cookies with it?
I guess it's the sugar too. You know,
Yeah,
we
it
don't
is.
drink those drinks and go, the sugar, but
Mhm.
it's in there.
Yeah, it's in there. It's definitely in there, and whiskey and stuff. But yeah, man, I just remember being able to eat whatever I wanted, and then that caught up with me, and I was like, okay, this is bad.
Right.
Then once the alcohol's done, and you're like, you just keep eating like that, you're like, I gotta cut that shit out.
Well, let me ask you this, because you did help me get sober, whether you knew it or not at the time. And maybe you can help me with this. I'm dating somebody now, and she has 3 children,
Okay.
teenagers. So
What teenage years?
18, about to leave, supposedly. 16.
Cool.
And 13, about to be 14.
Yuff.
Yeah.
That's the one. That's the one where, yeah, man. Wow.
And they keep changing, you know.
Oh, buddy, I mean, that is, you have a better chance of getting someone out of North Korea than that
peaceful night.
13-year-old liking you.
Right.
Everything. You're fucked, dude, on all accounts.
So you had a stepdad when you were 12?
I had a stepdad from when I was, I believe, 8 to 11 or 7 to 11. And then, I mean, boyfriends galore.
Okay. What is there anything for me to keep him? Now it's been 3 years, so they know me.
And you knew,
but
you've known them since they were 10. That's big.
Yeah, or we kept it a secret for a year. But regardless, it's enough time has gone by. But at the same time, what moves did the stepdad make that were wrong? Did he never have a chance? Am I going to do something dumb that's obvious?
My stepdad Nick ruled. I was upset when my mom and Nick got divorced, because I really, really liked Nick. But then my mom started dating my dad's ex-best friend Joe, and that was 13 to 16, and he was a piece of shit. He was just a fucking mean asshole. So just don't be.
This was best friends of your first stepdad?
This is my godfather. No, my biological father's best friend.
There's not enough men around.
Yeah, Joe was my godfather because he was my dad's best friend when we lived on the East Coast. And then
what kind of piece of shit was he? Like, what could Keith do wrong?
He don't be snarky. Don't put down what they like. Just be like, kind of understand that they don't know who they are, so they're trying to figure out what they like.
He did. The kid, the young one, did, because the daughter got boy's the oldest, then girl, the youngest that you're talking about is a boy.
Okay.
Benny.
It's easier. That's way easier, I think. No offense to the ladies, but I think boys at 13, worst case scenario, can always get physical. You can always just beat the shit out of them.
His sister got a hickey. He got jealous, went out, and you could tell deliberately got one, meaning he had to beg a girl, like, give me what, he didn't have a vacuum cleaner with him, so it had to be a begging situation. I tried to do my fatherly duties when he's talking to himself. He's like, I got a hickey. And then I'm not paying attention. He forces me to see it. And I go, oh, that's ridiculous. That's stupid. Did I do the right thing there?
Yeah, you did, because see, here's the thing. He wanted you to go along with it. He wanted to be one of the guys. What's his relationship like with his dad? Is it good or bad?
He doesn't know yet that it's bad.
Oh, buddy. God damn it, Keith. You came to the right man for this. I feel like this is like inside job. I feel like I'm Sean Connery in The Rock. I'm like, welcome to the stepson. This is fucking rough, dude. I know this exact playbook.
He thinks his dad's there for him, but he hasn't realized yet that the dad never shows up to anything.
Oh, God damn it, dude. I know this, and I'm glad it's you. I know you, and he is lucky, because my mom is one of the greatest moms of all time, and her her blind spot was she wanted me to have a fatherly figure. What she doesn't realize that cost us was more of our relationship. And as a young kid, I felt like she put boyfriends in front of me, you know, but then you grow up and you humanize your parents and you kind of realize what their motivations were. I thought my dad fucking ruled. I thought my dad was just so much fun that my mom was a hater.
Right.
And then I grew up and I realized my dad was a deadbeat, didn't give a shit and wasn't there and showing up. So I would tell you the things you could do for him is show up and just fucking listen. Just be like, what's going on? Let him say all the stupid shit in the world and don't take it in. You know what I mean?
Right.
And kind of analyze it first. Don't try to be the guy that's there to, Joe always tried to be a disciplinarian. And I was like, fuck you. You're my dad. You're my godfather. But also you're a man, you're an older man. And I wanted to be respectful. So I was caught in this like weird thing that caused a lot of anger because he would just talk shit to me. And really, I just wanted to fight him by the end. By the time I was 16, I was like, I think you're a piece of shit. And I think you're manipulative. And I think you like used my mom to fucking have a place to live. And then, you know, he married my mom's best friend after my mom kicked him out.
Wow. Everyone's just going from best friend to other best friend. Like,
sorry, we got friends, friends in Colorado. Those are settler laws, Hemda. If you gotta give your wife to someone that you know in the wagon circle.
Is this what America is really like?
This is Colorado law.
America.
If your best friend is single and you're no longer with your lover, pass them on.
I didn't
recycle, reuse.
With you not having, you didn't have a father figure in your life then, right? If everybody's going.
My dad was a party. My dad was a party dad. So he was like, you know, showed up when he fucking felt like it, or when he was hammered enough to remember he had a kid.
My dad was around, but a constant little trickster, and we didn't have friends or other family. So I'm wondering, what have you realized? Because you've done more therapy on yourself than I have. What did we miss out
on having a dad?
Yeah, what did we not learn?
The one thing I've definitely learned is it's an emotional base. I didn't have one of those growing up. I didn't have I loved my mom. I love my mom now. We have a fantastic relationship now, but when I was a kid, it wasn't a good thing. I felt completely alone, completely isolated. Didn't have my half sister didn't come into my life until I was 9 years old, about 9 or 10.
Right. Can I ask a question? Because Keith is wondering what you guys are missing. And I'm wondering if before you understood what you understood greater than, anyway, was your reaction to somebody talking about feelings staring at them?
Yes.
In silence?
No, I think it was a little bit of that, but it was also when you're raised completely alone, you empathize by relating it to things you have been through, which sometimes can look selfish, but in reality, you're like, I don't have a point of reference. So I'm trying to see if this story aligns with yours so I can kind of know how you're feeling.
So basically you guys are pausing to process.
Yeah. Because I think, I don't know.
How long is that wait time? Because it's a lot of staring.
Yeah. Well, that's when you go to therapy, that's defragging your computer. So it speeds it up. So like with my girlfriend, I can listen now. She's actually taught me how to like really listen, where I'm like, oh yeah, I'm not going to make this about me. And I'll listen to your story and I could kind of understand what you're going through. Because
oh my God, you're so great. See, my boyfriend says the same thing. He's like, what? We were together. I put my phone down. I'm like, you're saying regular shit, right? Like,
yeah, I would do that all the time. She would get so mad when she'd be like, don't just repeat the last thing I said.
I'll kill you.
Which is, you know what, ladies, let's make a deal. I'll stop repeating the last thing you said if you stop telling me to stop yelling when I'm not yelling, because I'm not yelling.
I'm talking in the same tone you are, and if I didn't have passion in my tone, you wouldn't take this serious.
Exactly. So let's both come to the middle and agree that we'll stop repeating the last thing you said, and we'll just admit we weren't listening. If you can admit we're not yelling and we're just using a stern tone.
So in my case, it's me that's yelling, and I'm just like, can I just yell? Can you just hear the words and I just yell for a while, and then you just understand it was just a louder volume?
Yeah. Did you forget who I was?
Yeah. Didn't you know I yell? You know I yell. You know I like to yell.
Yeah, we're all making great points here.
Yeah,
Sure.
this is some therapist is going like, yeah, bragging about therapy. Why don't you go for another 10 years and then readdress these topics? But I think, Keith, I think you're in a good place, man. I think you're in a really good place to really help a kid that doesn't understand he's got a shit dad, because that's all I kind of wanted. Is my one of my best friends in middle school, Mike McDaniel, his stepdad Gary was like one of the only guys that I first met that showed me that like adult dudes are cool and can have cool lives, can have like jobs they love and can be decent human beings. Because I just didn't like my mom's boyfriend. He was just a really selfish schemer. He was like really, he would talk shit about my dad to me, and I loved my dad, and I was in the same place your girlfriend's son is, where it was, I loved my dad and didn't know he sucked yet. But this dude knew he sucked, and instead of giving me time to process it and learn it on myself, was rubbing it in my face, and it just felt aggressive.
I think that's a great point. And I think also that Keith will be okay exactly for that, because he checks to see what his girlfriend needs, not what his girlfriend's kids need.
Yeah.
Because now you're just intruding.
Yeah.
Like, who are you? I don't even, mom doesn't even need your help like that. Just,
Yeah, it becomes like, listen, you're there because of her, not because of him. You don't,
right.
You're not related to this kid. He's your girlfriend's son and you're dating her. So that was something that Joe did that I hated, that I actually watched my mom snap on him. They would get fucking hammered at dinner and talk shit to me.
Right.
I'm doing a joke about it now because it actually was funny. Because he was like, he'd just be hammered, and I would misspeak or something, and he'd be like, "You're gonna pump gas gas when you grow up." And now I'm grown up. I'm like, dude, like 2 states do that, so shut up. But my one time I remember him going extra hard on me, and I was a shitty 13-year-old. I was like long hair, smoking cigarettes, didn't give a fuck, was failing out of 8th grade. And I wasn't like mean. I was just a smart ass. And I remember one time he was like really lighting me up. And my mom was like, "All right, Joe, that's my son. And like, I'll discipline him." And I remember being like, "Jesus, lady, took you long enough."
Right.
But again, he was acting like he was supposed to be there and not because he's dating my mom,
Right.
Like if he would have been like, "Hey, you're right. That's your kid. I should shut the hell up." I would have been like, "Yeah, he gets it."
Your mom's like, "I'm gonna pat on my son," and you're like, "Yay!" And you happily show your ass to her. Punish me.
Ooh, yay, mommy, my right cheek's out. Don't let Joe hit me with his closed fist. He never hit me. Damn, I wish he did. I could have gone to the fucking police.
He knew better.
Yeah, he knew to hit me. I was like, "Give me it. I'm gonna have something on paper. I'm gonna put a case on your ass."
Would you ever think about your mom having sex with these men? Or are you
or you
lost
just
in your
hear
world?
it, or you can just hear it while you're watching WCW Monday Nitro.
Get the fuck out. That's why you love wrestling so much. I'm going to ask Mike Lawrence's deal. I bet it was the hideout fucking, and now you just love these superheroes.
I actually, honestly, it was, I think one time it was wrestling, and then the other time it was Speed Racer. I used to watch Cartoon Network, and like Speed Racer was on, and I just remember yelling out, "All right," because the living room was below their bedroom, and you just hear the bed, and I'd be like, "Oh fuck." I started smoking real young, and I would like go out on the back patio and fucking rip a cigarette just to be like, "Jeez," just holding the bridge of my nose at like 12 years old, being like, "Christ."
I never think of that. Like with nostalgia, I'll say to somebody, Goonies is fucking overrated. They're like, "Overrated? Shut up, mom and dad fucking."
Yeah,
it was
stopped
perfect.
The thing that I did not want to hear. Yeah, man.
Were they trying to muffle, or did they forget you were there?
I think they were so drunk.
Oh, right. I always forget. Like there is that element that changes things.
But still,
changes a lot of things. But it's like, you got to fucking, you got to put on something loud. So hearing fucking Scott Steiner powerbomb someone, I was like, "Yeah, he's not getting up from that one. Tell him, Bobby the Brain Heenan, please talk about it."
Whew.
You comedians see the same therapist, is what it sounds like. Am I right?
Yeah. I think there's an article being written for him.
Is that healthy?
Cool. Yeah, because we don't. He doesn't tell you what they talk about.
Okay, you don't have to guess that you're being funnier than the next guy.
I mean, if you're doing that, you're at the right place. you're at the right place if you're fucking keep thinking that. But yeah, there is a little bit of, because we've been doing phone calls since March of 2020, but back when you used to be,
Why? What happened?
just, I didn't like it. I didn't like the smells. But I knew comedians would be coming in after me, and they'd be sitting in the, waiting room, which is right outside the door. So I really had to, if I was having a real moment, I had to really reel it in. The second I'd hear that door open, like that, I'd hear the door open, and I'd be like, why did you leave, Daddy? And the door opens, and I'm like, so I fucking killed on the Late Show. Improv said they'd never fucking seen a closer like that.
I just the way people watch stand-up. I'm seeing that.
I sold so many tickets.
Hey, what is the deal? You're getting out there. You're touring. What's the deal? Maybe you read it in the news. What's the deal with masks? Are we supposed to be wearing them again? Because I just made peace with the fact that if you're an unvaccinated asshole that's going out to have fun, I will not feel bad killing you.
Yeah.
Are those not? Am I mistaken now?
I would say most places I've been the past 2 weeks, I was in Dallas and Cleveland. Outside of airports,
right?
Maybe places with absolute definitive signs on the front that say wear a mask. No one's wearing masks.
Oh.
But if you're vaccinated, do you have to? And if that's the rules, then are these new rules just to save idiots that are going to die?
I do it just to judge people. I just do it as a judgmental stance of your place is dirty. No, I'm vaccinated and I don't wear my mask in most places, but I still wear it in a cab, in a lift, sometimes if it's a smaller restaurant, I'll wear it to the table. But I don't know when to do it, and I don't know when not to do it. And I don't know if I'm looking dorky or if I'm looking like an asshole. I don't know.
It's one of those.
I just walked into Blue Bottle to get a coffee, and I didn't have my mask on me. And I was like, am I an asshole? I'm vaccinated. I swear you want to yell that
right.
Oh, man, I'm so vaccinated. I'm feeling so vaccinated today.
I have seen that because I'm still wearing masks indoors because I'm like, fuck it, outside we're free and it's summertime and it's fine. I wear it indoors. And I went into, maybe it was a pizza place or something where it's very quick. And I was the only one wearing it except for the people behind the counter. And I suddenly realized, I'm like, are they looking at me funny because they think I'm not vaxxed and that's why I'm wearing a mask?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm like, if I didn't believe in the vax, I don't believe in this mask either. Aren't we the same people?
That's a very good point. And I didn't even think about that. You're right. There aren't a lot of people that are anti-vax that are like, dude, masks rule. Guys, right? Fauci really had a point about masks. You don't even think of that. The anti-vax people aren't like, I was real big proponent of social distancing. I stayed inside when I was supposed to. Those people are like, yeah, I was out at football games and shit the second day. I went to the Super Bowl this year. Yeah, there's some people that just aren't going to do it. I know someone that's in the hospital right now because they're not vaccinated and they got hit with it and now they got clots in their lungs.
Shit.
And you're like, they're not going to die. No, my computer just did something weird. But yeah, it's scary. It's scary to think, these people. Hold on, my computer's freaking out. So if I go anywhere, just know I'm coming right back.
We could still hear and see you, but maybe we shouldn't tell you that.
I don't know. Yeah. You don't know this. I'm from the future. Listen to me. Don't get vaccinated. Say it. Don't do it. It turns us into zombies. No, we're fine. Dude, we're gonna have a cool zombie party. All vaccinated. By the way, I am one of those people that if I had kept drinking and not gone to therapy, I'd be a person where I'd be like, I ain't gonna get it, man. It's gonna turn you into a zombie. But just now that I know, I'm like, well, all right, well, let's just do it for the safety of everybody.
You're drinking your friend's ends. I don't know what's in the fucking vaccine.
Yeah, whatever, dude. He was an alcoholic dude. There's gotta be some booze in this.
You're bringing out a rag into your mouth. Yeah. I don't know what the government's up to.
I don't trust them. I don't trust them at all.
You have a new podcast I saw, Sixth and Jump.
Wow, man, what this is like you being like, hey, I heard you got a girlfriend, and be like, oh, we broke up.
Really? We had three shows already.
Well, we did Sixth and Jump as a pandemic podcast. Ari Shafir, Big J, and I, as a watch along to the '80s show 21 Jump Street, which we found on YouTube. We found the entire series, so we were like, oh, cool, people can watch. And then we can watch, and then we can. And at first, our goal was like, yeah, we'll do two episodes per episode, podcast episode.
Right.
So we can like move at a certain rate through the show. Each episode, we talk about one episode for 2 hours each time. It is fucking wild. We got through 3 seasons before Ari did an Ari and moved to Central America for 3 months. So we couldn't contact him. But we watched 3 seasons through the pandemic, and that show absolutely is a timestamp of how little we knew in the late 80s about everything from AIDS to gay bashing to like the things, gangs, the things they brought up in the show. They were so off the mark on most of it that it is so funny to go through. And you're just meanwhile watching Johnny Depp become a heartthrob. Right. In like season 1, he's like trying, he's like putting effort into the character. By season 3, his bangs are in front of his face, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm a high school student that's also a police officer." And
right.
it's just,
well, even Booker was cool back then. Everybody was cool.
Booker,
you're pushing
Booker, it was not cool.
He stopped the series.
Yeah.
By the way,
he got his own show. He was so cool.
Well, we are halfway through season 3, maybe a quarter of the way through season 3. And I'll tell you right now, Richard Grieco's character, Booker, is straight up racist. He's a racist cop. And you go and you watch it and you're like, all the proof is there. Like 5 episodes in and you're like, they're not even hiding that this character's racist. But he was like 80s casual racist. So it got, you could like get away with it. It's so funny.
Did you guys keep watching but forgot to record?
No, I would have to go back and start watching season 3 again. There might be a surprise coming now that all of us are back in New York, because it was so fun to do. And each week we would have a sponsor that was from the year 1987 or 1988. So it was a lot of fun. And there's a lot of characters. 21
Did you have a guest host, Miss Pac-Man?
Oh my God, I wish. What's great about 21 Jump Street is that
everything
they would bring actors, first off, A-listers up the ass, guest starring. Josh Brolin, Brad Pitt. There's a bunch of people that we've already seen that you're like, it's their first or second role. So you're seeing them fresh.
I forgot about that.
It's crazy. And then you see a lot of character actors. Jason Priestley was 2 different people in the same season.
I love seeing that.
He was like a guy in a guy in a gang at Franklin, and then he was like, one of the good students over at Jefferson. Actually,
well, see, but that's before we could binge anything. I remember watching the Cosby Show, and suddenly it was like sort of available to me before Netflix, before all of that, and I noticed one guy was one of the sisters' dates in the start of the Cosby, and the other one, I think, either married it or he came back to date this other person as a completely different character. But this was years apart, and you had to wait a week before every episode. So who's keeping track of these guys?
And no one in the 21 Jump Street production team was like, oh yeah, there's going to be 3 assholes later watching this as a podcast breaking down every move.
Right.
But it was really funny. It was pure enjoyment. And the show sucks so bad that Katie, my girlfriend, wouldn't even watch it. She's like, I can't watch it. This show sucks. And I was like, I know. And we really enjoy watching bad things together and making fun of them.
You want to watch this together? And she's like, how about you just cheat on me? Because this is unbearable.
She's like, it's just so gross. I cannot deal with this. It was, so I would put on a 21 Jump Street and she would hear the theme playing and just go in the other room.
Now, a lot of people just heard girlfriend.
Yeah.
Can you update us on your relationship status?
Yeah, we're doing great. We're, I think we're close, coming up on 2 years, and got a sweet dog, got a good girl, and she's awesome. Katie rules.
Oh. It just makes me think, I don't want to go back and revisit those Jump Street shows, which I did love. I didn't even appreciate the movies. I'm like, you're being silly.
Well,
you're
here's
being
the deal.
Silly.
The movies are actually do the show justice. The movies are good, and they make a lot of references to the original series in a way that if you spent a pandemic podcasting about it, you'd be like, man, these are great. This is
very
awesome.
Specific, right? When I was in high school, me and my friend Marcus told 2 girls that we were undercover cops, and we would be talking to them in the hallway sometimes, and Marcus would run by and like, we have them, and I'd be like, sorry, and then just bolt.
That's brilliant.
That's
brilliant. What a good lie. What a good pre-internet lie. Lying was like, man, it's the way that they talk about that. What a gold rush. Lying was a gold rush before the internet. You could just say whatever the fuck you want. I think I told kids in my 5th grade class that Under Siege was based on my dad because he was a cook in the Navy.
Keith took lyrics from one of his favorite songs and gave it to someone as if he wrote a card.
I acted like I wrote Love Bites by Def Leppard.
Dude, Big J did the same thing with the lyrics from Boston's Amanda, I think, and gave it to a lady.
Amanda, is that the right word?
I don't know. I got to ask Jay what Boston song it was, but he showed up to school thinking that they were going to think he was a genius.
Joanna.
And they're like, did you use Boston lyrics? Like they knew the song. And he was like, what?
They might have them too. I don't know. What?
Whatever. Parallel thinking, I guess. Sorry, I was in the zone.
See through my mouth and talk through my eyes. I think other people can think about that too.
Guess I wrote a hit.
Thinking. Yeah.
So maybe you look at it like that.
I kind of, by the way, I'm still loving Atypical and Kaminsky Method. I finally got on the train. It's funny that the blonde kid, the boyfriend of, these are only TV shows I watch, so I think it's funny. The blonde kid that's the boyfriend of the daughter in Atypical is the blonde idiot in the acting class in Kaminsky Method.
Whoa, crossover.
Small world, small world.
So, yeah, well, that was one of the fun things about Sixth and Jump, which, by the way, you can go listen. I think there's still a Patreon where you like pay $2 and you have access to all the episodes, but they did they would always, a lot of the character actors be on some of our other favorite shows. And most notably, it was always Briscoe County Jr., Quantum Leap, and then this show called Nightman. And then we wanted to start doing another watch along of this shitty superhero show called Nightman. This was like superheroes. Young kids will never know this, but in the 90s, no one gave a fuck about making movies or TV shows about superheroes. So if they did do it, the budget was poor, the costumes were silly, and it just looked dumb.
Right.
And it was like Nightman is the prime example of that. It is the show that
I think you meant to watch Knight Rider and somehow landed on Knight Rider.
Knight Rider ruled, which by the way, we're
ruled.
there. Toyota's new commercial during the Olympics, they straight up have a kit. Now your car like winks at you and talks to you and is like, hey, have fun in there.
Good.
Cool.
Let's put a wink in other places in our lives.
Which is just going to make, that's going to be the most, what are those called? Crash derbies, you guys know what I'm talking about. Or is this
your computer's breaking again? I think.
No, it's white trash. What are those called where cars just smash into each other?
Derbies. Right?
Demolition derbies.
Yeah.
Now that cars are going to have personalities and shit, it's going to be really hard to watch those.
Yeah. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
Oh please, no! My back right tire. Oh please! I have small cars at home.
I see where this is going. Shit.
Oh no! Is this a demolition derby? I am here to die.
You said we were here on a date. What is this?
I thought we were going to a scenic lookout, and now you're here to smash me into other cars who also have feelings.
I do not consent. I do not consent.
And then there's 2 cars in the middle of the arena, and they go, "Hello, brother. Hello, brother versus brother."
By the way, Atypical. Me and my girlfriend developed the technique to talk to each other better, and we'll put on. I can't do it now. It's something you do in private with a lover. But I put on the Atypical voice, and then you can be as honest as you want to be, and it's a cute thing.
All right.
Your kids, I could take or leave them. If you love them, I love them, but I really don't care. So you can say this stuff and then nobody gets hurt. So we're new to it, but I'm liking it so far.
So it's like your way of saying everything I'm about to say, please don't take personally. These are just my thoughts and can be just let go of if you can. That's a thing that can happen. This is our choice.
I'm deliberately not adding emotion. I did not like your chicken today.
You're giving her diet. You're giving her diet honesty.
Yeah,
like, I can have it and not feel guilty. Right. All the honesty, zero guilt. Atypical voice.
We're just doing a bit, but your hair looks dumb today.
I would rather go in the other room and watch TV than talk to you right now.
You will see later when you fix your hair that I wasn't joking. It'll be a natural reaction.
I said I couldn't smell your poop yesterday, but I could.
You said to tell you, so I'm telling you, you can't judge me.
Yeah. I led with it. You cannot be mad at me.
I'm going to try that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too. And then I'm going to fucking text Keith when I'm in trouble.
Right.
Great
The
idea.
Atypical show got called Keith. I don't know. Like you got to at least watch the show together. That's a big part of it.
Oh, I just go in cold. Hey, have you seen Atypical? Never mind. I got this new technique we're going to use.
Are you following the Olympics at all?
Yeah, dude. I love it. I love watching the Summer Olympics. It's so much fun. There's always shit that I forget. And as a pothead, you forget everything, like the words demolition derby. And then you also
But
forget,
how much fun is it? You rediscover so much all the time.
Yeah.
The world is so great and new.
I can't
That's why
believe
we're not mad at the rest of you. You're welcome.
I can't believe I forgot about synchronized diving. Just the fact that I forgot that exists. Then I see it, I'm like, oh, God bless it. God bless it. I forgot how much I care about swimming at certain times. Really, every 4 years, I really am like, I should hate swimming. Joe, my mom's boyfriend, was a swimmer, and I used to have to go watch him. Oh,
what?
Fascinating. Oh, he's up again. You're like, please, please, please. Oh, he's up again.
Yeah. No, he was awesome, dude. Yeah, stay down. Heart attack in the pool. Heart attack in the pool.
Do you think it's good for different countries? I was thinking about this the other day, the Olympics, or does it separate us even more? Because now I'm like, I see somebody on the street. I go, excuse me, are you Japanese? They're like, yeah, why? And I'm like, another gold for us. Because right now we're neck and neck with the Japanese. Am I supposed to have pride or not?
Yeah, you don't. Well, I don't think you're supposed to taunt. I think there's a difference in having
friendly ribbing.
Yeah, I don't think a stranger would know it's ribbing. A stranger's like, who's this fucking psycho? But yeah,
stop Asian hate, Keith.
I know, but this is what I'm saying.
Let's also admit that fucking Russia should not have any athletes in this Olympics, and they are just racking up medals.
Yeah, Russia was banned for because it is a state-sponsored doping thing. Russia is giving their, but now they can't wave the Russian flag, and they're called what? Like the Russian committee team. They're still getting points.
The Rockefeller Records, baby. Dame Dash is leading them, and yeah, it says ROC, and it's got the Olympic colors. It means Russian Olympic Committee.
Yeah, it's Russia. We're not confused.
Yeah, but you don't want you're like, oh, we produced it where there's a spot for Russians. How could we get around this? We've this many sponsors, this many times. Also, like you can't just throw a wrench in the production. They're not going to let you do that.
Also, as someone that really follows professional wrestling, you always need a good bad guy. You always need a good heel. So to have them be like, what? We didn't get caught. Our athletes, it's not our problem. Suck our dicks. We're going to work you in water polo.
You know what? It'd be funny. You look back and you realize that your mom turned on wrestling first, then went to the bedroom.
Oh, man, that would make me hate it. I would instantly be like, no. She's like, who's on tonight? Is that Buff Bagwell in a U.S. champion match? Joe, let's head upstairs. I'd be like, Hulkamania's running wild upstairs, brother.
All right, so go ahead, Hunter, please.
Look, son, it's totally normal for people to walk in their underwear and wrestle. Anyway, I'm going to go do a thing upstairs.
It's not underwear, it's tights. Just, if you're going to bash
and then you could say things like that. Sure.
Yeah, no, I put clothes on when I walk around. Yeah, I know the stepdad rules. I'll drink the orange juice from the carton, but I will put clothes on, no problem.
Has he came to you with a problem yet?
No, if anything, he would talk less than as opposed to me having to be a good listener. I'd have to drag things out of him.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
So I'll take
if you can get him to open up, it's going to be an ally. You're going to have an ally in the home.
It's only been 3 years, Give it.
Yeah. Also, don't try too hard because everybody can smell that, and I'd rather you neglect me.
Thank you.
Also, buy him stuff. Just buy it. I'm trying to hook this kid up now. I'm like, get him a fucking Xbox. Really blow his mind. Drop a PS5 in his lap. Watch him come a running to tell you all of his problems.
Right. The hickey was dumb. Of course it was. Of course it was.
She's like, Keith, what are you doing? He's like, I'm buying his love, and it's working.
And he won't be doing his homework tonight, I have a feeling.
Yeah.
Billions is back September 5th on Showtime.
Sure is.
Have you learned more about the stock market in real life at all?
No,
Are you
not at all.
Made me dumb.
Probably less. People are like tweeting at me during that GameStop thing. They're like, right? And I'm like, I don't even know what's going on, dude. I love GameStop. Are they in trouble? I like going there.
Your character was probably the president of GameStop. You don't even remember.
One guy wrote me, he's like, dude, seriously, I have an idea for a script for Billions. And you're like, do you think that's going to get to the writers by me? Do you think I'm going to be able to bring that in and be like, hey, giant production. This guy that follows me on Twitter Tiger Dick 126 is that he's got an idea for a script.
And of course, you want to check out The Bonfire. That's
Yes.
you and Big J, Sirius XM, Monday through Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time.
Faction Talk. We moved. Faction
Fastest
Talk.
show in the business. You're me and Kenneth were on there not too long ago, and you know you don't have something to say right away. They ignore you. They go on.
Yeah, dude.
It really was, I believe, the fastest show we've ever been on, because usually people are coming on here and we're watching them watch a tennis match because we're going pretty fast. I was like, wow, this is the first time that I was like, I better get in there,
Yeah.
or have nothing to say.
Yeah, we're bad at we're two only children, so we're real bad at being like, oh, there's other people here who want to play. You're like, all right, go Jay, you go, and then now you go Dan. But it is, it's like
Very funny.
Yeah, thanks. It's our relationship is just kind of, it's always been that. He was like, when I was opening for him and, and then just becoming friends and stuff, it was always like, hey, we're just outside bullshitting. That's always kind of what we do. We're not good at radio. We're not good at radio by any means.
They're great. It's a really fun show. That I don't want to call it improv because it has such a bad name, but you guys bounce off each other so well.
Yeah, it's like there'll be bits where I'm like, how the hell did we land there? Yesterday we were talking to Jessie Mae Peluso, who was promoting her new Netflix show, and we were talking about the Woodstock 99 documentary, and we brought up Kid Rock, and somehow it ended in us casting Pete Davidson in the Kid Rock biop in like 5 years called Ba with the Ba. And it's just him being like, I don't know. I got this idea for this song, and it goes like, ba with the ba, the bang, the bang. My name is Kid. That's my name. That's what I should say. Kid Rock. Right? And they were like, how the fuck did we land here?
That's it. Dan, thank you so much. Check out Dan Soder's website. Check out the tour. You want to see him live. He's the best.
I miss seeing you guys in person. I miss all being Astoria neighbors. I miss Anthony and David's. And the sandwich place.
You loved it.
I went there on their last day and I didn't know it.
52 years in the business.
Last day.
Yeah. Well, it's been a fun 20 episodes, and I hope there's 20 more.
I'd say we'll see you soon, but this fucking thing, I don't know what's probably never. But anyway, we got
Let's cross our fingers and hope we're all in person soon.
Right. Yeah. It's good to talk to you.
I love you guys.
KeithAndTheGirl.com